Than that, I thought we made it out pretty good. Lonnie Johnson banged knees over there and then had a little cramping, but again, we'll evaluate him to see if there's anything, but we didn't think anything significant on the field. So I thought it was a good practice today. Again, a lot of situational work. We worked some short yardage. We worked some, move the ball, having to work substitutions, and also got down in the red zone and moved the ball a little bit. So it was good work.
What do you think of the connection Derek and Chris Olave have established so far, and how would you say their on-field relationship?
Yeah, look, I think it's been good. I think Chris is really coming along. I think he's improved a lot. It's been good to see him make some of those contested catches that we've talked about. He's still a great transitional route runner at the top of the route, and I think him and Derek have, gotten a pretty decent rapport.
For a guy who had 1,000 yards as a rookie season, I'd say he improved a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, there's a reason why we went up and got him in the draft. We feel like he's got a chance to be a really good receiver in this league, and I think he's proven it.
Dennis, have you seen a step forward in this camp from Carl Granderson, would you say?
Yeah, I've seen a step forward with Carl just about every year he's been here. He's kind of gotten a little bit better each and every year. He's playing the run really well right now. He's playing really physical. He's always had the ability to kind of rush the passer. That's kind of been something that has been a trait of his that we've liked. But he's really improved himself as a run player. And look, that's obviously a huge testament to him. I mean, here's a guy that, he comes in here, he's like 237 pounds when he gets here, and now he's up to about 282 pounds, and he's worked extremely hard. Just every day comes to work, does his job, and when you do that, you get better. And I think he's a guy that we're certainly going to be counting on this year.
You said like 2 weeks ago that you wanted somebody to grab the other defensive end spot opposite of Cam Jordan. Do you feel better about that spot maybe than you did 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, look, I feel good about that spot. I mean, I don't know that we're ready to make any decisions yet because I think Peyton Turner's played really well. I think Tano's had a good camp, so I think that's a position that we've got some depth at that position, and so I think that's good.
What would just be your evaluation of Foskey so far? What's something you're looking to?
Yeah, I'd say still a work in progress. I think ultimately, I'd just like to see him just cut it loose. I still think he's trying to process a little bit. He's got a really good skill set. He's a good kid. He works hard. I think that just comes with time and comes with reps and comes with being comfortable in the system, knowing exactly what to do and how to do it. And so, look, he's improving. He's getting better. He's not there yet, but I like his trajectory. I like what he's doing. I just think ultimately as he gets more and more reps, he'll get more and more comfortable and start to cut it loose a little bit more.
We haven't seen any of the after the whistle stuff with Trevor this year. Was that something that y'all?
We had a little bit of it today, but nothing, right. Nothing too spectacular.
That was everybody's looking for it last year, and it hasn't really.
Yeah, I actually think people made way too much of it. Sure. We talk about the after the whistle stuff. Look, the guy plays hard, and he's going to block you all the way down the field, and that's what we want, So. I don't think too much about it, really, to be honest with you.
But I guess the question was more, did you all try to tone down a little bit of it?
No.
Have you seen growth from him in the pass protection side?
Yeah, I have. Again, he's not there yet, but he's getting closer and closer every single day, and so he's missed a lot of time. So he needs those reps. He needs that work. He'll get plenty throughout this camp and in the preseason, and I think he'll be ready to go by the time we get to week 1.
Sticking on the offensive line, UDFA coming in out of HBCUs, Mark Evans. So what do you see from him so far?
Yeah, I think he's an athletic player inside. He's got some power. He's working hard, and I've seen some good things, and a lot like with a lot of these rookies, whether they're undrafted free agents or their draft choices. There's going to be some roller coaster. There's going to be some ups and some downs, but really, what you're looking for is the number one thing is you're looking for some of the flashes, which I've seen out of him, and now it's really just about getting more consistent.
You seem to kind of manage the adversity of not always succeeding. I imagine that's a big part of that growth for you.
Yeah, I think it's that way for a lot of guys. Look, Nick Saldiveri is a kid we drafted out of Old Dominion, and he's dealing with some of the same ups and downs, and yet you see some of the flashes, and hopefully as we continue to get more reps and they get into some of these preseason games, you can start to see a little bit more consistency out of those guys.
Now that you guys are going to be in the dome tomorrow, do you guys think we change anything in practice, or is there going to be an emphasis somewhere different, just being in the dome?
No, not really. I mean, I think part of it is just, there's a new turf out there, so we're going to get a little bit of a feel for that. Let everybody, we got some new players, so let everybody get in and get a sense for what the dome's like, the lighting, all those types of things. Still a lot of situational work tomorrow. Some of these guys that have never been here, probably get them over there and let them take a look at the locker room just so they know the lay of the land. And, so when it comes Sunday, it won't be the first time they've ever been in there.
Dennis, have you had to change maybe your coaches, all the experience you have? You look what occurred in Washington with Eric Bieniemy. I don't know how much is that the players learned coaching being too hard on me. And that was, I don't know, maybe I'm too old school about that. Have you had to change maybe dealing with players?
Look, I think you always evolve. I do think that the type of player that we get now is probably different than it was, Bobby, when you were playing back in the day. The way we practice is different than it was back then. So I think you're always looking to evolve, and ultimately, it really doesn't matter how you get the job done. It's really about how do you teach, and how do you demand your players to do what you want them to do. And there's a lot of different ways to get that. And ultimately, all of these players, at the end of the day, they just want to know that you can help them be better. And so there's a lot of different ways you can get to that.
Did you talk to the other coach ahead of the preseason game? Just, hey, we're going to play our starters, just my show's aligned a little bit?
Yeah, look, I don't know that happens as much anymore as it used to happen. I'm sure that Coach Reed, has a plan on how he wants to, go throughout the preseason. We've got a plan on how we want to go about the preseason, and, we'll go out there and play football and see what happens. Okay, guys, thanks.
How's the adjustment been with coming in, being in this camp, outside, inside, dealing with the heat, all that other stuff that's going on all throughout camp so far?
It's been quite an adjustment, I will not lie. I'm originally from Mississippi, so I thought I was kind of used to the heat, but being in Vegas where it's kind of just like dry heat to back to this humidity is completely different. It's sweltering, I will not lie. Every day come off the field, your feet are just like soaked in water. It's like you're walking in puddles. It's like the craziest thing ever.
You feel like practicing in those conditions and then playing, and I mean, there's a lot of dome games for this team this year. Do you feel like that's impactful?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it kind of gives you, like a slight advantage. I mean, as far as, just being in shape, we're busting our butts, every single day in practice, and then, we're putting in a little extra work after practice, so I'm certain that it's going to pay off.
Now, how do you feel like camp's going so far for you?
Pretty good. I mean, I'm adjusting, just trying to, figure out and find my place here, So things are pretty good, learning the system, head down, just working. That's about it.
How was your experience with the USO Tour?
Oh, that was amazing. Got to go out to Okinawa, Japan. Me and Roquan Smith got to do a bunch of Play 60 camps. So it was amazing time kind of to just see the impact of, families and the troops who've been away. Some of those guys haven't been home in 3 to 4 years. So, it was like the bright spot of them being over there the entire time, Because some of those guys and their families, they get up on Monday morning because they're a day ahead. So they're getting up at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning just to watch some of these games. So just to kind of go over there and interact with them, I think it was like the highlight of my summer.
What do you kind of hope to show this preseason game on Sunday?
Just to try to go out there and just participate and play at a high level. I mean, just to kind of just make sure, no MEs, just being in the right place at the right time, That's about it.
It's one of the more crowded competitions of guys at safety that we've seen in a long time. How do you hope to distinguish yourself? Like what area? I mean, I know you probably want to play multiple roles, but what area, do you think?
I mean, I'll leave that up to the coaches. I mean, my biggest thing is I just show up to work every day. I mean, but like you said, we have a great room from corner, nickel, safety, D-line, pretty much this entire team. I think that was the coaches made that an objective point of, what they done. And, they wanted to load each position room with lots of competition, and we're only here to make each other better. So, I mean, I think it'll work out in favor of the entire team because at the end of the season, we all know that you need all 53 guys.
You played with Derek before. Just what have you seen from him this camp? Just maybe differences?
I'm not going to lie. I've been very impressed with DC. I mean, I've been with him, like you said, for the past 4 years, and just some of the throws that he's making are really insane. He's fitting the ball into some really tight windows because, I mean, we play a lot of man coverage here, a lot of quarters coverage, so the windows and everything they are pretty tight. So just to see that, he's constantly getting better, because like I said, we have a really great defense, and we're only making each other better. So, it's competition on both sides.
Ask some of the guys that are seeing him for the first time, but you've seen him, you practice against him for a while.
Yeah.
What is it that Derek Carr does that challenges defenses or makes things difficult for you?
I mean, the biggest thing is he's going to go up to the line of scrimmage, he's going to diagnose what you're in, and he's going to do the best thing he can to put his offense in position to win. So, it's combat. It's like a hand-to-hand fight. You give me this, I give you that. You give me this, I give you that. So, he does a good job of that, checking the runs, checking the passes, can away from the certain pressures and certain looks. He's going to line up the fronts and everything. So, it starts from the head up, from the neck up, and, he's got that part. He has all the physical attributes. So, I think things are going really good.
We've all been speculating about future campsites. Is there anything you can put in a vote for Napa?
I'm enjoying being down here in New Orleans. I mean, Napa it's a great place. It's a great time to go. I would suggest that you go in the off season with your families, but no, I mean, I think this heat down here, practicing this every single day, like I said, it kind of gives us an advantage, and like Coach said, it builds mental toughness. So you have to be mentally and physically tough to go out here and compete at a high level every single day, considering the fact that it's hot, because it's hot for everybody.
You spoke a little bit during your intro press conference around why you were so excited to join this team and be a part of this defense. Now that you've been in it for a while, what's kind of your favorite, the thing that stands out to you the most about the way that this defense operates?
Like Coach D.A. says, it's not about what you play, it's how you play. And so that has been the saying for years and years around here, which is why the Saints have had a really good defense for the past couple of years. And so just to go out here and see guys flying around, just getting to the ball, practicing hard, it's very exciting. It's very contagious. And so it shows and it symbolizes why the Saints have been good on defense for the past couple of years. Thank y'all for having me.
What's up, guys?
Hey Ryan, we've kind of asked a lot of people just about Trevor, for a guy who hasn't had like a lot of time, reps, all that stuff. Have you seen him improve even in the short training camp?
I've definitely seen improvement from Trevor. What was it, yesterday, I think? We worked a little bit after practice on some things that have been taught to me by former players, Tehran, Streif, little drills that I thought, would be beneficial for him. And he seemed to respond well to that and like those drills. And I think just from the start of camp, I think he's made quite a bit of progress. And
See the guy, like, just talent-wise, it's all there. It's just a matter of just putting all together.
yeah, I think that's a big part of it. He's physically gifted. He's a really good athlete, and it's really just tying all that in together. And it's a big jump for any player. Playing in the NFL, playing against the best. So I think he's getting there, and I think he's making strides in the right direction so far.
Ryan, are you playing a few snaps against Kansas City come Sunday? And if they are limited, how much are you looking forward to when you'll go out there against the Chargers and just different competition practice against them?
Yeah, I don't know what my situation is for the Chiefs. I'm assuming I'm playing, but I don't know. I think going out to LA will be good. I think it's been refreshing when we've gone out there. You get to play against different guys and different scene, and it kind of just is a good reset, I think. I think it's good for everyone. But yeah, looking forward to that.
Ryan, it seems like Cesar Ruiz has made some steps forward in camp, especially coming back from injury. How have you seen his progress?
Yeah, I think he had a good rehab this offseason, and from what I can tell, I don't think he's missed a step. I think our communication and I think we've done a good job of building what we have working together too, cohesiveness there. So I think it's been good.
Ryan, has your management program changed over the years, and if so, can you tell us how?
I am on the same program as I was last year. I think what I did last year was beneficial, and my knee felt good throughout the year. So I think if we can just stay on that course, it'll be good. So I'm on the same thing.
You feel good right now, you say?
Yeah, I feel overall pretty good.
How does that kind of get established? Is that something you kind of develop with the training staff, or is that something you talk about during the offseason?
I think last year was kind of got developed last year. What works best? What amount of rest do I need? What amount of reps do I need to be ready for the season, in condition, and have enough reps to feel confident that I can go out there and play. So I think that was kind of the basis was developed last year, and then we're kind of just rolling that over into this year.
Hey, Ron, having a new quarterback, how important are these reps in the preseason game?
Say that again, sorry.
Having a new quarterback, just how important is it to get as many reps as you can?
Well, yeah. I think there is a different dynamic there, and hearing his cadence. Sometimes you can take for granted that a cadence is a cadence, but each quarterback has a little different nuances there. So I think getting a ton of reps with him is beneficial, and we have a lot of walkthrough reps during camp as well too. So that's been good to get a lot of reps with him because it is very important.
Have you worked much against Carl Granderson in this camp? And if so, can you see differences? I mean, obviously he's a lot bigger than he was. Can you see differences in him?
I haven't gotten any reps against him, but I've seen him grow into a really good player. I think he's made a lot of progress, and I see his pass rush most of the time when I'm watching. He's done a really good job. He's a good player, and I think that's a credit to how hard he's worked to improve his game.
Right, with the departure of Zach Streif this offseason, the team added Kevin Carr coming in. What has he brought to sort of that offensive line group?
Yeah, I think he's he's a really technically sound coach, which I think is obviously beneficial for us. he's been good. I think he's been a really good addition, and yeah, guys like him, so it's been good so far.
Time for one more. Do you do much work with Jari Evans, or does he just kind of focus on the interior, or kind of like what's that role?
I mean, obviously he played interior, so I think that's more his role there. He's able to help the interior guys more, but he's obviously, I'm able to bounce questions off of him as far as combinations and passing off games in the pass game. So definitely beneficial to have knowledge from him. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Got a full house today.
For a second, I thought you said I bought a cool house then.
Oh. I did not buy a cool house today.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
How has it gone? So look, talk first couple of days of camp about getting more involved. Yesterday, you caught a ton of balls. How has that progress, that mission gone so far in camp, would you say?
Yeah, I think it's been good. I think, again, obviously going into year 7, based on, where we were a few years ago, I think that everyone's a little more comfortable with where we're at and has, a clear vision of what my role is and what I'm capable of doing. But I think in terms of the context of your question, we're still filling it out. And but I think so far, I think, some of the things that I have done as a route runner, and, I always go back to we're in the huddle, and it's like I know what the quarterback's thinking, right? And so, and I think that has shown up and has been advantageous for us. And so, look, this is just one of those things that continue to evolve, and we'll continue to see where it goes. And I'm sure by week 1, as we get to week 15, 14, 18, it'll look different.
What stood out to you about Jake Haener?
I think the biggest thing for a young quarterback is to come in and learn the offense. Like this is a tough offense to pick up, and this is a system that's been around for a little while, and there's not a lot of rhyme or reason as to why we do some of the things that we do. But I think specifically with Jake is I think that he's done a really nice job of picking that up, and his presence in the huddle shows that. So the confidence that he has getting in the huddle, getting the play called, has been impressive. And, I think that confidence trickles over into his execution. And, it's really what you want to see from a young player.
Taysom, yesterday, Blake Gillikin said that you were the best personal protector in the NFL. He said he feels so confident how you can make all the calls and how you might change the signals and communication.
He's just buttering me up. That's all.
So how do you feel about more you can do, obviously, in that role still as a personal protector?
Yeah, look, I think the personal protector thing, I do think it creates a clear advantage for us, just having a quarterback. And, last year, I don't think we ran a fake last year, but there's always that possibility, And so as a team that has to prepare for that, that it's out there. We have them in every week, and we've shown that throughout the years. And so I think, man, that creates a clear advantage for us, and keeping a defense on their toes. And so I'm assuming that's what Blake is referencing.
So we've seen you kind of work in for individual quarterback reps over the last couple of weeks. Is that kind of the simulating game, like where you will be coming into that one rep?
I think right now in camp is, I kind of alluded to this earlier, is I think now going into year 7, we have a clear vision of what my role is going to be, what I'm going to be asked to do, and it's just trying to make sure that I'm getting those reps when we get to practice. So that's really what it boils down to.
You had mentioned last time we talked to you, you might spend some time in the running back room. Is that anything you've done yet?
No, I haven't spent any time with them. I've talked to a running backs coach, JT, and I have had a few conversations, and there's always a tricky thing about, this combination of you don't want something to be overcoached, and my personality, I like to know what it is, and I think we'll get into some of that, but I think the other side of it is, some of the stuff that I've done, we kind of just don't want to mess with it.
Well, when it gets explained to us why a quarterback running the ball gives you such a number, how many handoffs have you actually taken in your career? Like a small handful, maybe? Or?
Yeah, small handful.
Do you feel like you have a much better advantage when you're taking the snap and running?
I mean, my comfort level, just from a pure snap count, yeah, is way more comfortable. I'd rather just catch the snap and go, you know. But, you know, we've done a handful of those things over my time here, and I'm comfortable doing it. So that hasn't been an issue. But, yeah, I don't know. I think I'll continue to explore that with JT and have – I think also, you know, there's one thing about taking handoffs, but it's what the running backs are looking at, right? So they have different reads in the run scheme, and so that's kind of what I was alluding to about working with them. And I have a lot of conversations with those guys. I got a great relationship with our staff, and I try to make sure our T's are crossed and I's are dotted and stuff. So
It seems like every year Juwan adds like a little bit more to his game, and his numbers get better every year. You've seen that even again repeat itself this year. That, like just a player just keeps kind of improving.
yeah, I think that's a very fair thing to say about Juwan. You know, you look back at his time here as a receiver, and then this transformation to tight end, and man, he is a guy that has continued to play, you know, on that trajectory, and what he's doing in the run game right now has been huge, and he's really done a nice job there. And then the stuff he does in the pass game, you know, he's always done that very well. He's always been a very natural route runner and stuff, and I think with players, you know, that comfort level just continues to increase the more that you do it, and I think you just see a player that's getting more and more confident.
What would be your impression of Jimmy Graham?
I love Jimmy. Jimmy's been so fun to have around the locker room, in the tight ends room, you know, meeting with him. And again, I just, you can't replicate experience, you know. So I go back to early in my career, the times that I had with Drew, having the opportunity to learn from him. He just has such a wealth of knowledge based on the experiences that he's had. And Jimmy's another one of those guys that's played a ton of football. So I'm still learning, you know, like I'm doing things for the first time still. And just to have the opportunity to have those conversations with him. But, you know, it's the mindset, it's the mentality, like all that stuff. Like if you play in this league for that long, it's, you know, it takes a special person. And that these conversations are just invaluable.
Do you have a clearer picture of how you're going to be used? When you talked a couple of weeks ago, you said, you know, that it evolves every year so much. Do you have a better picture now of what this year's going to look like for you?
I don't know. I think the short answer is yes. But I will say, like, even I go out to practice, and frankly, I still don't really know what I'm all going to do. But I know I'll either be blocking, throwing, or running or catching, you know. So I don't know. I just, again, I think game plans change and guys get injured, and, you know, I suspect that throughout the season there's going to be, you know, just some of this stuff where maybe I have a few more carries, maybe there's a game plan where I have a few more receptions, and maybe I throw it a couple more times than, you know, what we've done in the past. But I don't know. I kind of expect that, and just stay ready, stay on my toes, you know.
I'm wondering if in this evolution of the role you've been in, do you have a greater appreciation for all the different positions now, because you're trying out all these new things like blocking as a tight end, or running as a running back, or route running as a receiver? I mean, but each time you go through one of those.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I do. You know, obviously there's a big mental load as a quarterback, you know, and knowing what we're doing. But I would say one thing just off the top of my head, I didn't appreciate the mental load that goes into playing tight end from a blocking standpoint, you know, what the O-line are having to do, you know, because we have different schemes, but each play is blocked differently versus different schemes, you know, and we pay attention to that as a quarterback, but it's different when you're in there and having to communicate all that stuff. So yeah, I do have a greater appreciation for what guys are doing at every level, you know, and that's been fun. And I think I've been able to connect with guys on the team at a different level too, having better, experience with what they're going through.
How's your blocking going?
I don't know. No, look, again, a lot of these things, and as I say, I'm doing things for the first time. It's so much of that is coming in the run game or from a blocking standpoint. But like I tell the coaches, I'll try hard.
Tyson, do you have any predictions on the Drew Brees and John McEnroe pickleball match?
I didn't know that they were playing. I don't know. It's hard to bet against Drew. He's so dang competitive. All right, guys. Thank you.
Do you feel like your time at the XFL has benefited you so far here?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. I had a good coach, though, with Bill Johnson. Obviously, if a lot of y'all covering here know him, he coached here for a while. And so he helped me out a lot and just simplifying the game and just being able to play for him. He really brought a lot of joy back into the game for me.
You get a chance to catch up with him? There's something out here at camp.
Yeah, he was just here the other day. I think he left yesterday. So, I mean, it was good to see him. I haven't seen him since the XFL, and I haven't talked to him much this summer. Got pretty busy. That's on me. But, no, it was good to see him and just catch up and talk to him. And I mean, if you're around Coach Johnson, it's hard not to have a good time, or smile.
You were teammates with John Trey in the Rockets, right?
Yep.
And what was that like, just seeing, former teammate come through?
Yeah, so I was actually eating lunch at the cafeteria there, and I looked up. I'm like, that dude looks familiar. And then I was like, oh, that's DeAndre. And so then I saw him and just told him congrats. I asked him, you signed? And he's like, yeah, and told him congrats, and excited to see him out there.
Do you have the potential to play some this season in terms of second string, first string? I mean, how do you feel personally and your skills?
Every day I'm just focusing on trying to be better and just doing what I can in the scheme, trying to build a role, and whatever happens, happens. I'm just trying to go out and put my best foot forward every single day for the team and just do whatever I can to help this organization win and get to all the goals we want to get to this year.
Anything else? What's been the toughest thing so far coming in? Back into the NFL?
Oh, really? It's just the heat down here is unbelievable. Yeah, Coach Johnson always talked about it, and it is a different beast down here. But other than that, I mean, you play professional ball. Ball is everywhere. And I was in the XFL, but I came straight from New York Giants. I mean, I was on a team all 18 weeks last year on a P squad, and then I went straight from there to the XFL 9 days after. So I kind of knew what I was getting back into, and it's just the details. It's a lot more detailed. You have a lot more time. This is your job. XFL, you have 3 months really to work with a group of guys, and it was the inaugural season since, 2020, the last time they had it. So it's just getting back to all the fine details in the NFL. It's just everything's just so calibrated, and just being able to pick up on everything that's going on throughout a play and your play design and just doing all that.
Tough on the body going from one season director to the next, director to
It don't feel good. No. I mean, yes and no, but I just try to take care of my body well. And I mean, I was lucky enough to have good mentors my rookie year that really took care of their bodies, and they showed me ways to do it, and I kind of adopted those routines that they had going into the offseason. And then when I was in the XFL, just staying on it, and then being down here, staying on it in OTAs, and then going back, I knew it's not going to be the same 5-week spread. So I trained back at the University of Iowa, and like we have really good strength coaches, and they knew like obviously what I just went through. So I knew it wasn't gonna be the same, like really amp it up and get like explosive, and so like we kind of modified it and just kind of did the own plan, but just really stay on the massages, body work, stretching every day, playing a lot of golf. That kept me loose, it kept me in shape. So really, that's all I did. It was just a different 5-week span of what I'm used to.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.